Greetings of the day, everyone. Today we will be discussing the questions carrying 6 marks for the chapter Indigo, written by Louis Fisher. So the first question we are dealing with is, why did Gandhiji consider freedom from fear more important than legal justice for the poor peasants? The fact that peasants suffered so much suppression and they were exploited by Britishers at great length. So this fact itself is sufficient to tell us that freedom from the fear of British authorities was more important to them than the legal justice that they would get after they are freed from that agreement. So this mental oppression that they were going through, this mental anguish that they were going through, being freed from this would be more important for them rather than gaining the legal justice. Yes, they were to realize that British Raj is challengeable. They were to accept that yes, the authority that is suppressing us, that is oppressing us, is challengeable. It has some major flaws which need to be tackled, which needs to be challenged. So legal justice was far too complicated a process, right? The lawyers charged a high fees, and the hearings took years and years to complete, and all of these loopholes were in the legal justice that made it a complicated process. And even if they got legal justice, so it would be at the cost of their self-esteem and simplicity. Even if the peasants went into the process of legal justice, went into the process of getting justice through the law and order, it would not be enough for them. First of all, it would consume a lot of time. It would consume a lot of resources, and on top of that, it would happen at the cost of their self-esteem and simplicity, because all of the people involved in the legal arena would obviously take advantage of them and of their simplicity. And Gandhi worked on the practical life problems with his campaign and wanted overall development of peasants. So Gandhi considered freedom from fear most important, and on top of that, he considered overall development more important than that. He wanted that the people of Champaran would be developed in all spheres. You know, they should have education, they should have good medical facilities, they should have good sanitation facilities. That is why his stay in Champaran for a few days went on to become a stay of more than a year. That is why he wanted to get them much more than legal justice. So freedom from fear is freedom from all constraints. That is true in the sense that if we get freedom from our fear, अगर हम किसी चीज से डरना बंद कर देते हैं, तो वो चीज हमें एक burden नहीं लगती, वो चीज हमें constraint नहीं लगती है. Because for example, if you fear swimming, right? If you fear swimming, and you will whenever you face a pool, you will not go swimming. And for that matter, if you fear water, you will not go near any water body. You will not carry out any sports. You will not go near a water body whatsoever. But if you overcome that fear, if you get determined that yes, I will overcome that fear. If I get freedom from this fear of a if I get over this silly fear of water, it would no more irritate me. It would no more. It would have no more value for me. In the same way, it was important for the peasants to gain freedom from this fear of British authorities, because in the end, all we have to fear is the fear itself. This is a very beautiful line by Theodore Roosevelt, also mentioned in your chapter Deep Water, written by William Douglas. So this is also a line that you could include in your question, that all we have to fear is fear itself in the end. अगर हम डर को ही भगा देंगे, तो उस चीज को करने की जो एक हमारे अंदर जो एक रहती है कि हम ये नहीं कर पाएंगे, वो भी चली जाती है. If the peasants would gain the power to face the Britishers, all of these feelings of insecurity would go. What did Gandhi do to remove the social and cultural backwardness of the villages in Champaran? Gandhi started many primary schools and he worked on the sanitation facilities. He also called his wife and his son to work for the upliftment of the villagers. His wife also tackled the problem of unhealthy menstrual practices in the women. They used dirty newspapers, dirty clothes in their menstrual cycle. So that was a huge problem that was to be tackled there. So they saw their some of the women didn't even have a cupboard to keep their clothes. They wore dirty, tattered saris all the day long. So that was a major concern of unhygienic practices. So he stayed in Champaran for a very long time, for more than a year, and he even managed his own Sabarmati ashram in Ahmedabad from Champaran itself. So he even knew when the various problems in latrines were to be taken care of. This shows us that how disciplined Gandhi was and how determined he was that yes, if I am there to do one thing, it would not make me lose attention and lose importance of another thing that I've left back. So he got services of a doctor to improve the health facilities of the villagers. The villagers were given basic home remedies for their problems. Even the basic home remedies weren't available for the villagers at that time. A small clinic was set up and they were given basic remedies on the basis of their health conditions. So he left with more than what he was required to do. Obviously, he left with more than what he was required to do. He left the villagers with overall social and cultural development, but he was only there to settle this matter of the landlord system, the ancient agreement that the peasants were in. The next question is, what robbed the farmers of the value of courage? How did Gandhiji install this value in them once again? So British Raj had made these peasants suffer a lot. They were oppressed by them from years and years to come, and they couldn't even call the land they worked on day and night their own. They had lost all the courage to stand up against this act of oppression. So the continuous oppression, the continuous malpractices that they faced, it had robbed all the value of courage that the peasants had. So Gandhiji's visit, it proved to be a turning point for them. Obviously, he taught them a lesson in self-reliance. He taught them how you should, and you can stand against something which is utterly wrong, like a system such as a system like British Raj. So this is what was instilled in this is the value of standing up against the wrong. This value was instilled in them once again by the work that Gandhiji did. So he stretched from freedom from fear that we have discussed in length in the previous question, and also he worked on the grassroots level problems. He worked on the sanitation facilities, he worked on the health facilities, and also he worked on the cultural development of the people, social development of the villagers. And Mahatma taught them to challenge the wrong ones in power, and he liberated them from this vicious circle of fear. So he taught them that you can challenge the wrong ones, even if they are in power, even if they are in power, even if they are the strong ones, you can challenge them. And the moment you challenge them, you are liberated from this vicious or from this never-ending cycle of fear. The next question is, on the basis of your reading of Indigo, bring out Gandhi's unassuming character and values that he nurtured. So this is perhaps one of the most important questions from this chapter, where we are asked to list the characters and values depicted by Gandhi's personality. The first one being humble. he was so humble that he reached Champaran on the request of a peasant, and he fought for them wholeheartedly. It also shows us his determination. He fought so relentlessly for a bunch of strangers. His resilience, his never-ending efforts made the peasants believe in themselves. His resilience in he was so firm of his idea that he was against this oppression, this play of oppression displayed by the Britishers, that he was so resilient in his efforts against Britishers. His efforts made the peasants realize what they were lacking, what values they were lacking. His focus on practicality made the lives of many easier. The incident where he didn't let the situation end up in the deadlock of 50%, it shows us that how practical he was. अगर गांधी चाहते तो वो ये कर सकते थे कि वो उनके लिए 50% जो था वो ला सकते थे, 50% का रिफंड वो ला सकते थे. But if he would have done that, the Britishers would have known that yes, look, these peasants are greedy for money, they are taking help of some stranger, and this would have painted a picture of a cowardly picture of peasants in front of the Britishers. That is what Gandhi didn't want it. That is when he used his skills of practicality. He was discreet and judicious. That is, he took every step. He took baby steps in every situation. He was discreet, he was to the point, and he was judicious. He did everything in a confined manner, in a systematic manner. He had a humanitarian approach. Even after the matter of this Indigo agreement was solved, he stayed in Champaran and helped the people in all the other spheres. And he was an advocate of self-reliance and satyagrah. Obviously, Gandhi, his whole life was based on majority of his life he worked on Indian independence. He worked on the freedom of Indian subcontinent, and this movement was driven by the force of two values, that were self-reliance and satyagrah. That is what he taught to the peasants also, being self-reliant and always working in the favor of our home rule. That is why he came to Champaran in the first place. He wanted him to realize how important home rule was and how important this value of self-reliance was.